Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, February 27th, 2018. I am Rochelle Baptiste with the details. An application made to the court to inspect the ballot boxes used in the Central Leeward constituency in the December 2015 general elections was today dismissed and deemed an abuse of the court's process by High Court Judge Justice Esco Henry. The application was made by the legal team representing one of the two petitioners, Benjamin Exeter, who was the opposition New Democratic Party's candidate for Central Leeward in the December 2015 election. According to the ruling handed down by Justice Henry in the High Court this morning, the matter was two-pronged as there was no justifiable basis to consider the petitioner's motion, and that whether the petitioners presented enough evidence to justify documented proof of their allegations. She pointed out that much of the evidence put forward by the petitioners was speculation and could be deemed judgeless and completeless. She also noted that some of the relevant information to back the petitioner's case were not presented or not done so in a timely manner. She pointed out that if it is a simple case of typographical error, it would put the court in a peculiar situation, and that she would not rule against the decision made by Justice Brian Cuttle, who had already ruled out the option of not having the ballot boxes inspected. Ordering the petitioner to pay costs to the respondents, Justice Henry also told the court that a date for the petition hearing would be set by the registrar. Head of the legal team for the petitioners, Queen's Counsel Stanley Stocky John, said he accepts the ruling of Justice Henry and is now focused on the upcoming petition trial.
How do you feel about the verdict?
Well, of course, we would have hoped that the judge would have ordered inspection, so there is some disappointment in relation to that.
So what does this mean for the ruling and the case itself?
The case goes forward. As you note, as you note from the judge's judgment, she indicates that the dates for trial of the matter will be set by the registrar. Trial of the matter will take place on dates to be fixed by the registrar. And what has happened here today is that the judge has said that she does not think that she has the authority to overrule the decision which was made previously in relation to inspection. That is what has happened. The judge, you would recall that in 2015, an application was made before the petition was filed for inspection of the ballot boxes and the ballots in the ballot boxes. And Justice Cottle ruled then that no inspection should take place. And what this judge is saying is that she does not consider that because she is sitting on a parallel jurisdiction that it would be proper for her to overrule what Justice Cottle has done. The abuse of process is in relation to her saying that she does not think that she has the authority to overrule the decision which Justice Cottle made in 2015. Now, we may have other views on that, but we accept the ruling of the judge going forward. This matter is not appealable because it's an interlocutory hearing. So we must go forward on the basis of the ruling that was made by the judge towards the trial.
One of the lawyers for the respondents, Graham Bollers, said the arguments they put forward in court validate the ruling by the High Court judge not to inspect the ballot boxes. Bollers said that his team's next move is to get ready for trial when the date is set by the registrar.
Well, we're very happy, we're very pleased with the results. We're looking forward to the release of the judgment so we can peruse it.
So you feel there's validation in your arguments? And
of course, the judgment validates all our arguments that we pose before the judge.
Are you confident that your clients are going to try at the actual petition?
Well, we are in the process of agreeing a trial date, the hearing of the petition. petition themselves.
And you're confident that the legal arguments are on the side of your clients, the petition?
Very confident. Very pleased with the results today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Expressing confidence in the court system to deliver what he termed as an oxygen of justice. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, calling in on the WeFM Shake-Up program today, said he had confidence in their legal team and the justice system.
As I've always said, we have a court system which delivers on a daily basis the oxygen of justice. I was quite confident from the very beginning that this application by Ben Exeter and his lawyers would fail. As an experienced lawyer who had studied and who had been advised on this matter by lawyers who know far more about it than I do, and informed about it. I wanted from a technical legal standpoint to understand the issues, though I myself was not involved in it.
Dr. Gonsalves accused the NDP of having no solid foundation to base their arguments, and that this was most evident since Central Leeward candidate Benjamin Exeter has to now pay legal costs to the respondents.
Strength of Justice Henry's judgment against them is a salutary warning for persons who want to abuse the process of the court or do things akin to an abuse of the process of the court and run a highly speculative campaign based on no foundation whatsoever. And I understand they got called out in today's judgment. and I understand the judgment was very strong against them. And when you see on a matter of public interest that cost is awarded against a particular party, in this case cost awarded against Exeter, it would tell you that this application.
The Prime Minister, who is also Minister of Legal Affairs, said that it is disappointing that the opposition is always trying to put into disrepute the systems in the country.
My faith has never been wavered in our judicial system, which, as I repeat, daily in the civil courts and in the criminal courts, in election petition courts, in the constitutional courts, daily we deliver the oxygen of justice. And people who want to pull down St. Vincent and the Grenadines and our civilized way of doing things, well, mature people on an ongoing basis, which involves the majority of people in our country, would see that we have a judicial system which is an expression, a wonderful, magnificent expression of our Caribbean civilization.
Walking out of the High Court with all smiles were members of Parliament for North Windward and Central Leeward, Montgomery Daniel and Sir Louis Straker. They expressed their satisfaction with the ruling. Both believe the people have spoken through the ballots and they will continue to represent them to the best of their ability. Supervisor of Elections Sylvia Finley Scrub, who was also on hand, maintained her silence.
Any comments, Mrs. Finley? Any comments, Mrs. Finley? Do you feel validated? Any comments? Any comments? Thank you very much.
Well, the judge has said what she has to say, so that's where we are. Basically, that's where we are. So
you feel vindicated?
Well, the law is the law. The law is the law, and therefore we have to be abiding with the law. So that's where we are.
What's next for you?
well, I continue to represent the people of my constituency until the people say no more. That's where I am.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much. Mr. Straker, how do you feel?
Well, somewhat relieved. I think it's very difficult to disenfranchise people of Central Leeward, have what they did on December the 9th come to naught. I think the judge has ruled. We have to accept her ruling. You have to bear in mind, you know, that I have been in 5 elections. 3 of them were under the NDP administration, only 2 under the ULP. I have no question in my mind that the people of Central Leeward have spoken through the ballots. As Sir James Mitchell has said, you cannot win an election in court. You have to win it at the ballot boxes. And I am confident that what the people of Central Leeward have done on the 9th of December 2015 remains valid and would continue to remain valid to the end of the term that they have elected before.
Although disappointed, leader of the opposition New Democratic Party, the NDP, Dr. Godwin Friday, said he accepts the ruling by Justice Henry and that it is time for them to reassess their strategy for trial. Dr. Friday said that while it would have been good to have the ballots inspected, the decision to not have them in the petition's case is a reality they must accept. He said that it was difficult for their legal team. However, they did a remarkable job despite their constraints.
We'll make the case the strongest way, the best way we can, based on the ruling that we had today and what we know already. The court did say that Exeter had in his possession certain evidence, so you know, we will have to make an assessment as to how it affects the arguments going forward, but before we will. It's very important for the people of this country to know how the elections were conducted, so of course we want to have it determined completely on its merits. And the evidence that is presented, we will present the best evidence that we have at our disposal. I mean, election petitions, the way in which the law has evolved, is extremely difficult to get the sort of information that you need in the time frame provided, and to perfect the application, to fill every gap and every, you know, cross every T and dot every I, because it's a time frame that's very limited and the information is very hard to come by. I think we've done an extremely good job, and the part of the petitioners here and our council have advised to bring the case, the best case that we can, on behalf of the people of this country.
Deeming the decision by the court to reject the application for the inspection of the ballot boxes as only a setback, petitioner and NDP candidate for Central Leeward, Benjamin Exeter, expressed confidence in the upcoming petition case. Our news team also caught up with some opposition members of parliament who said despite the disappointment, all is not lost.
This is only a setback for us. The petition still continues. We've had setbacks in the past and we'll overcome those setbacks. We went to St. Lucia for the appellate court. It was a setback for us and we were victorious then. I'm confident that we'll win the petition.
Any other comments, fellas?
Forward we go to the petition, that's it. That's the real issue. Forward we go full steam ahead. Can't wait. There's excuse here.
Sis, maybe recalibrating. I'm a little bit frozen in time, but the general conclusion, all is not lost. We go forward with the petition matter without the benefit of the outcome could have had contributed to strengthening our petition argument. So, in this world of politics, one day at a time, SVG, one day at a time.
Any comments?
We are not giving up. People of St. Vincent and the Grenadines need to know exactly what happened during the last election. Today we did not get what we want, but that doesn't mean that we are going to stop, because justice must prevail Vincent and the Grenadines and the truth. We must give, you know, we are fighting, we are going through the legal and the right way in order to bring the truth to the fore of all Vincent.
And some of the supporters of the opposition New Democratic Party who are outside of the courthouse today also expressed their disappointment with today's ruling.
Miss, you want to say how you feel? How you feel?
I feel very bad because that very day when they had the cluster in Layu, that was the time we need to fight for our rights. But they let it go. Mr. Eustace make we let it go and tell me not to. Must keep quiet. We must keep quiet. So we don't have no right and also to get. But I am waiting for 5 more years, and when I wait, I know Mr. Gonsalves will have to step down.
From my observation, you know, all what was going on with the respondent is just defending lies, and I don't support that, you know. So I am going to stand up for what I know my foreparents fought for, because I never experienced what we are experiencing right now in this country under this United Line Party. And I call it so because that's how I phrase those ULP, United Line Party. And may democracy stand in this country, in Jesus' name. That's what I have to say.
I feel great because I know God in the midst of everything that we do in this country and all part of the world. So I feel great of it because I know God is not going to leave us. He said, He promised us He will never leave us, nor forsake us. And this is St. Vincent and the Grenadines that He placed for us, and any wrongdoings will come to life.
Destination SVG has a lot to offer the world and will be one of Caribbean Airlines' preferred destinations. That's according to Minister of Tourism Cecil Sesmaki as he spoke at last evening's launching event at the Beachcombers Hotel for the direct flights that will be coming out from the JFK International Airport in New York to the Argyle International Airport here in SVG commencing March 14th. Minister Mackey told the gathering he was amazed by the response of Vincentians who have been traveling to and from the Argyle International Airport since it began its operation 1 year ago on February 14, 2017. Minister Mackey added that the government of SVG will continue to play its role in ensuring that SVG is a premier destination and highlighted some of the attributes which make the nation marketable, which includes the Argyle International Airport.
Facility has been repeated by all who have used it to be one of the best in the region. User-friendly, efficient staff in all of the different services offered, and we can market that. We have a very varied tourism product that would allow the visitor to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to have an experience like they would have nowhere else in the Caribbean, and we can market that. Our people, warm and friendly, no put on, natural, we can market that. And the final thing that we can market for the passengers that we come into St. Vincent and the Grenadines, indeed we can tell them that this is the Caribbean that they have been looking for.
Also speaking at the launching event was Minister of Finance Camilla Gonsalves, who said direct flights is a necessary factor in taking SVG's tourism product to the next stage, and expressed gratitude to those who worked hard in making the direct flights coming out from and to New York.
I know the will, the goodwill was always there, the intention was always there, the energy was always there. And we expect a full flight on Heroes Day, coming and going. We expect full flights for the rest of March, April, May. We expect double full flights in July and August. We expect full flights for 9 mornings and Christmas. And we expect this relationship to be a successful one, to go from strength to strength, and to be the entree into other flights from other destinations with other tourists coming to enjoy the most magnificent tourist destination anywhere in the Caribbean. So thank you to Cal, thank you to the Ministry of Tourism, thank you to Glenn Beach and his team, thank you to all of you who have waited long for this day. Now we begin to see the fruits of this investment, and tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is poised for really an exciting and spectacular day.
Also making remarks was Caribbean Airlines sales executive for the Eastern Caribbean, Vina Ratton-King, who said CAL is pleased to partner with SVG in providing airlift service to the U.S., adding that the airline is focused on connecting the people of the region.
Realize this ambition, our valued customers can look forward to a schedule that allows for easy and convenient travel to facilitate their needs. With weekly non-stop flights every Wednesday from March 14th, we say hello Caribbean to our North American customers and the diaspora, who I'm sure will be looking forward to experiencing the warmth of the islands as soon as they step on board, and some rain when they get here. This non-stop service will operate as BW 552 and 553, starting on a significant date on the calendar. It was mentioned before, National Heroes Day, a time of celebration for all citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We look forward to boosting trade, thank you, and tourism, and providing options for the business community who are regular exporters to the United States. At Caribbean Airlines, it is our privilege to serve you.
Having received a $4.3 million loan from the International Development Association of the World Bank, the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines earlier today officially launched the OECS Agriculture Competitiveness Project. Aimed at enhancing the competitiveness of this country's agriculture sector, the project is headed by the Ministry of Agriculture in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning. Nikita Tony tells us more about today's launching ceremony in this report.
Its main objective being to enhance access to markets and sales for competitively selected farmers and fishers, as well as their allied aggregators and agro-processors here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, earlier today, Tuesday, February 27th, officially launched the OECS Agriculture Competitiveness or AgriCom project at the San Souci Learning Resource Center. Scheduled to run for the period June 2017 to May 2023, Interim AgriCom Project Coordinator Colville King said the project's implementation will aid in achieving not only SVG's food security needs, but also the needs of the tourism sector.
One of the main recommendations was that if we better organize the issue of marketing, then we can address the issue of market access. And by so doing, we can better match demand with supply. The support of the project, both in terms of financial and technical support, we would have addressed the issues in the agricultural sector such that we have increased incomes to the rural farming and fishing communities.
Giving an overview of the project, prominent secretary within the Ministry of Agriculture, Raymond Ryan, pointed out that the project aims to finance sub-projects developed by aggregators or marketers and agro-processors on one hand, and farmers and fishers on the other.
Aggregators and agro-processors will be the lead entities in each project and will receive up to 50% matching grants to improve market and processing operations. Fishers and farmers who are part of approved business plan will receive up to 80% matching grants. And this is to improve productivity and to meet market standards.
In his featured address, Minister of Agriculture Sabota Caesar noted that the AgriCom project will build upon the recently completed Banana Accompanying Measures BAM project. He also expressed gratitude to all major stakeholders, coordinators and participants for their efforts in carrying out the timely initiative.
There is a clear plan and guidelines which are set for us to ensure that this project, this $11 million, will reach our farmers, fishers, and stakeholders. We have to put more speed into our work. Not because somebody gives you 5 years, mean that we can't finish it in 2.5. Seriousness, we're going to have a lot of work to do, and we have a very short space of time to do it. We have to produce more because we have the opportunity to send goods away.
Minister Caesar also called for attention to be paid in ensuring that farmers and fisherfolk cooperative societies are beneficiaries of the AgriCom project.
I want to encourage cooperatives to continue to grow, but I also want to encourage those persons who are guiding this project to make sure that those persons who have worked hard through the years to keep their cooperatives going, ensure that these persons are considered when consideration is being made.
Today's proceedings also featured a stakeholder sensitization session. The OECS Agriculture Competitiveness Project is valued at some $13 million, with $11 million allocated towards the direct support to the farming and fisheries communities here in SVG. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.